Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to LinkedIn Tuesday. It's December 12th, 2023. Please note this event is being recorded and is currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. For those people on Zoom, this is all about connecting with other people. You're welcome. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please just put them in the chat window. Also, this is a great opportunity to connect with everybody else who's on the call today. So go ahead and put in your name, position you're looking for, your target companies, and your contact information, and connect with everybody else who's on the call. Tell them you saw them here today on LinkedIn Tuesday. You never know who's going to be able to help you out in your connections. For those watching on Facebook this afternoon, thank you for joining us. Please feel free to any comments, any questions you've got, put them into the comment field. We are monitoring that feed and we'll be sure to get those questions answered for you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a site to help those who are unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched a second website, careerusa.org, to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search that you may not know. It is available on Amazon or if you see me in person. Since 2007, I've been facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. We've got a great program coming up this Friday. If you'd like, and if you want to hear more about it, just stay tuned to the end of this session and I'll be talking about it then. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team. Remember, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, they're not going to get you a job. What they will get you is a phone call. How well you practice your interviewing skills, that's what's going to get you your next job. Well, we have 4 outstanding speakers who rotate through and talk about LinkedIn on a monthly basis. Today, our speaker is Ruth Lipsky. She's a career coach. She's going to talk about LinkedIn's tools for job seekers. So Ruth, thank you for being with us. And it's all yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you do because it's hard to find a job by yourself these days. It is a difficult period to find roles, and knowing what resources are out there to help you is a huge plus. So thank you, Jeff, for doing everything to help us out. We're going to be talking today about the tools that LinkedIn has created to help people who are looking for a job. And it's a good start just to say, here's how LinkedIn recruiter software works so that we know what recruiters are using, how they're using it, and what will grab their attention. So a recruiter will always start with a basic search. They're going to be looking for a title, in this case, a project manager position. They're going to be looking for certain skills, in this case, business strategy and analytics. And they also put in a geographic location. Companies are taking a look closer for people who are in the area so that they can come back to the job site and work in a team environment in a building. But just looking at project manager in the greater location with these 2 skills gives us 42,798 candidates. That's a lot of people to have to sort through. And nobody will. One of the things to remember about LinkedIn is that it will always give you the results in the order that is most specific and most tailored to the type of role that they're looking for. So there's a reason that this person, Emily Dalton, is coming up number 1 out of 42,798 people. It's because of her profile, her activity. There's a lot that goes into that, and we'll go through that. But at this point, the recruiters are going to use the spotlight features. They're going to say, I want to look at the candidates who are open to work. I want to look at candidates who are connected to people in my company who have expressed some interest in my company and are considered to be active talent, which quite often means that they are looking for jobs on LinkedIn, that they are commenting on the homepage, that they have some activity that shows that they're engaged and they're using LinkedIn in a positive manner. So what we're going to do this afternoon is to take a look at how to maximize the value out of the headlines and titles, the skills, And we'll talk in more detail about the spotlight features, particularly those that are used most often in the searches. One of the things to know is that when people come onto your profile, they're not going to read all of it. In fact, 30% of the people who look at your profile don't even bother to scroll down. They're taking a look at the top portion, the headline. It'll show the first 4 lines of the About section, but that's all those people need to know. 97% of people won't even tap to open up that About section. They'll see those top 4 lines that appear before you have to tap to see more, but that's as much as they really want to see. So that's going to be an area that's important to grab the attention quickly. The headline itself, and if we go back and take a quick look at the search, the headline area quite often is the LinkedIn default of this title at this company. But LinkedIn gives you 220 characters that you can put in a lot more information so that you can tell the recruiter your story. If the recruiter is looking for somebody who is a project manager, they're going to have a lot of people who are available to them, and the only thing that they have available to make the decision on who to look at more closely is really the headline area, because LinkedIn only gives them the headline and their current title and their past 2 titles. If you want to be able to talk to the recruiter and show that you've got the skills to do the job, you need to expand the headline area to tell your story. If you're in a position like a full stack application developer, where the key types of information that the recruiter wants are going to be what tools you are capable of dealing with. So this is going to tell the recruiter, the hiring manager, I have significant skills in these areas. These are the types of roles I'm looking for. If you are a project manager or a program manager, being able to tell more about perhaps the industry or the type of role that you've been looking for is going to be a stronger statement than just saying that you've done work as a project manager. Same for accountant. What did you do as an accountant? Increasing productivity. So specializing in, able to, focused on are going to be your statements that lead a recruiter to understand better what value you brought to your old company and what you can bring to the new company. The higher you are in an organization, the more high level your profile needs to be. So if you're looking for VP of marketing, being able to say creating value for business through effective marketing strategies is going to be a stronger statement than just putting in a couple of skills. Same for Director of Customer Relations, helping the world become more customer-centric. That invites the recruiter to ask the questions, how do you do it? Give me a story about when you did it. So putting in what you bring is going to be an important part of getting the attention of the recruiter. If Walt Disney had had a LinkedIn profile, he could have put in business owner, leadership, communication, animation as part of his headline. But instead, he probably would have put in, I make dreams come true, which is a much more powerful statement of what value he's going to bring. So make that headline important, tell your story. You can also do the same things in your experience section. The experience section allows you to put in the title that the company gave you, and that's an important one because in a background check, you want to be able to indicate that you agree with the company. But you can also translate that so that if a recruiter is looking at that title and doesn't quite understand it or is not familiar with it, then having a translation for it, or also known as, is going to be important. So in LHH, my official title is career consultant, but you see career coach quite often in the industry. And I want to make sure that people know that it's the same thing. If you're looking for a career coach, a career consultant is about the same. Consider me for that role. Now, in the next area, though, my title was Senior Manager of Training and Development, but my whole purpose in that role was to move our training into e-learning, having virtual training. So I did enough work in that area that I could have been called an instructional designer or an e-learning developer. I've got the skills to be able to do that because of the job that I did in training and development. Putting them in parentheses that says, although this may have been my title, here are the titles that are generally most likely to be a fit for the things that I've done. And using the titles that LinkedIn has standardized are going to be important because that's what the recruiters are using. In spite of the fact that the recruiter has a job posting in front of them, it's got a title in there, but if it's a title that LinkedIn doesn't recognize and is not going to be able to give the whole set of people who have a similar title or are part of that job family, the recruiter is going to search using a LinkedIn standardized title. And we'll take a look at where to find those in just a minute. Because now we want to talk about skills. As a human being who has been in the workforce for a period of years, you've probably got 2,000 skills that you could talk about, that you could put on your profile, that you could indicate to a new person that you want to use them. But really the skills you want to highlight are the ones that the recruiters are looking for, because that's going to bring you up higher in the search. So, and this looks a little bit busy, so we're going to move on to my profile page because it's easier to see it there. And this is where you're going to be finding the skills that are useful and are expected in the title. So you go to the More button here, and when you click on More, it says you can build a resume. When you click on Build a Resume, it says create it from your profile. And in this case, they want a job title. This needs to be one of LinkedIn's 6,000 standardized titles. And if I say I want to be a project manager, it'll give me a lot of options that are all associated with that. I'll go with the basic project manager. I'm going to apply that. And on the left-hand side, I'm going to have a resume that I could use. But on the right-hand side, it gives me resume insights. And it says, here are the skills that were found in your resume, in your LinkedIn profile, that are expected for a project manager. And here are some suggested keywords that we normally see for a project manager that you don't have in your profile, and you probably should if you're looking for that type of role. So you can do this multiple times for as many different roles that you're looking at. Try it for a senior project manager, try it for a program manager, and keep track of the ones that are suggested so that you'll be able to make your resume more powerful and more searchable for the types of roles that you're interested in. Everybody comfortable with how we got there? Okay. The other thing that you should know about skills is that LinkedIn used to look at the number of endorsements that a person had for a skill. And the assumption was that if you had a lot of people who said you were good at that skill, you probably were, and the recruiter should pay more attention to you if that was a skill that was needed for success in the job that they were looking for. What recruiters found out pretty quickly is that that was not necessarily the best indicator of skill strength. So they created the skill assessment. And that's going to be a test that allows you to take a quick test. It is short in order to indicate what your skills are. It's got 3 different areas. You can take a technical one that is dealing with a lot of the coding. You can do a business one, which is all of the Microsoft suite, plus a couple others. And you could take those that are associated with design. If you pass this test with a 70 or better, then you're 20% more likely to be found by recruiters because they can do a search based on, have you passed this test? So what's it look like? In your skills area, there's going to be a blue outline box that says demonstrate skills. And when you click on that, it's going to give you a list of tests that they have. In this case, I chose agile methodologies. It tells me that there are 15 multiple choice questions. It is a timed test, 1.5 minutes per question. You cannot leave and come back in. And all you have to do is to be in the top 30% in order to earn a badge. Notice that it allows you to do a practice test before you take this exam. Because if you don't get a 70% or better on the test, you can't retake the test for 6 months. And if you don't pass it on the second try, you're never able to take that test again. So the practice test is a pretty good idea to make sure that you're comfortable with it. Nobody sees if you do not pass the test, which is a nice thing. But if you do pass the test, you earn a badge. Here's what a badge looks like. Looks like a clipboard with a check mark in it, but that's going to appear in your skills section, and recruiters are able to see it, and recruiters are able to search for that. The other thing that LinkedIn does for us on skills, besides giving us something in the more section so that we can find the skills associated with that particular job, and giving us the skills test, this is probably the most important of them, because this allows you to take a look at the skills that are associated with success in that role. And let's take a look at that. This is called the Career Explorer. This is an independent page from the other LinkedIn tabs that you're used to working with. So this is something completely different. But in this section, it allows you to say, I'm interested in this job. And here are the skills associated with this job. And if I want to move to another job, here are the ones that might be the type of role because there's an overlap in skills. Now, the important ones for us are going to be the ones that deal with the jobs that we have. So if we're looking as a project manager, and let's say that I'm an HR project manager. Here are the skills that an HR project manager is expected to have. Now, you don't need to have all of them. Very few people ever would have every one of these, because it really encompasses everything that could possibly be done in this type of role. But they are in order. So the ones that are deemed to be the most important are going to be more at the top of this list. The ones at the bottom, possibly less important. But all of them are going to be key for success in this role. And now we can take a look at what's the next role for somebody who was a human resources project manager. And we can see that being a program manager, being an advisor, being a business partner, being a resources manager are all going to be jobs that are considered a reasonable match to the skills that you've got right now. And this section on the right is telling us, here's where the skill overlap is. There's some things in common, there's some things not. Skills that need to be built in order to move into this job, even though you've got 86% match on skills, there are some skills like being familiar with the FMLA, possibly learning more about labor relations, compensation and benefits are going to make it easier for you to move into this role. So this page says you get these skills, you can be in more than one job. And it can be either a higher level or a lower level. It could be what you right now think of as a career progression, or it could be something that is totally different and brings you into a different part of the organization. So this piece right here, keep an eye on that. And let me put that in the chat section. Oh, Jeff already did. Okay. on top of things as always. Thank you, Jeff. Any questions on this? Because this is really a good thing to look at. Okay, let's go back and see what else is going on. And let's get back to the PowerPoint. Okay. Now let's we'll look at the spotlight features. And there are a couple of them that we talked about at the top page. LinkedIn does not feel that there's any shame or that there's any problem with being unemployed. People are unemployed. And about 12 years ago, with the massive number of mergers and acquisitions during the pandemic, when companies were really squeezing back on their organizations in order to fit only the core business requirements, people who were enormously talented got let go. And LinkedIn recognizes this. Recruiters are recognizing this. Not all recruiters do, they're human. Some people still think the old-fashioned way, that there is a shame for being part of a layoff. LinkedIn and the recruiters more recently are saying, nope, it can happen to anybody. And there's some supremely talented people that are out there. So when you have the hashtag open to work option open, LinkedIn is telling us that you are 20 to 50% more likely to receive an invitation through LinkedIn that is going to ask you if you'd like to set up an interview for a job. That's a huge advantage. But the hashtag open to work does get stale. So after a period of time, LinkedIn feels that maybe you just forgot to turn this feature off. So it needs to be refreshed. Every 2 months, you need to turn off the hashtag open to work and then turn it back on again. That'll bring you back up in the searches again. And the open to work is the most frequently used filter that LinkedIn recruiters use, because it shows that people are quicker to respond, don't have to give 2 weeks notice, don't need to talk about handing off their projects, don't need the extra time. They're ready to start immediately, and that's a huge plus for recruiters. Now, the other spotlight feature is mutual interest, and that's where you're letting a company know that you're interested in them. Because the LinkedIn recruiters don't want to have to talk you into a job with their company. It's a lot easier if you know something about their company and are willing to talk with them. And there are 4 different ways that you can show interest with a company. You can follow the company, you can set up a job alert, you can click on the interest button, and you can connect with people in the company. So let's take a look at how that looks so that we can make sure that we're comfortable with all of those features. So if we go to a home page, and does somebody have a company that they're interested in, that they want to share? Just shout it out.
Just unmute your mic or hold down your space bar and tell us the company you want to look for. Anybody? Or you can type it in the, there you go.
Scout Clinical.
Ooh, say that again.
Scout Clinical. It's a healthcare.
How do you spell that?
SCOUT.
Okay, biotechnology research. Okay, we'll try this one. It's going to take us to a page that says we can follow it or we can view the page. We're going to view the page because there's a lot we want to do on this page. One is we want to follow the company. And when we follow the company, that means that the company is given permission to add information to our home page. So Scout Clinical is now going to be able to post on my homepage on LinkedIn information about new products, new activities, employee engagement activities, financials, things that are going to be important for me to see because I'm interested in the company. So follow is going to be the first step. Then you can go into the about section. And in the about section, this one doesn't have it. Okay, let's try it this way. I'll show it to you on another. On this, when it's Amazon in the about section, if you scroll down just a little bit, it's got a box that says, are you interested in working with us in the future? Not every company has this yet, but if you are interested in a company and there's no job posting out there right now, you can just tell them, I'm interested. That way, when a recruiter's doing a search for a job that matches your profile, you'll come up higher because you've said that you're interested in their company. Therefore, they're interested in you. Well, let's go back to Scout Clinical. In the job section, you also have the possibility of setting up a job alert. And a job alert is the most powerful way of talking to a company. Because when you create a job alert, you're going to say, I am looking for this job, research biologist, and I want to be in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And I'll create the job alert. What that does is it tells the recruiter what type of role you want, very specifically. It does not necessarily mean that you're not going to be considered for other locations, and you would certainly be considered for remote jobs. But the benefit of this is that when the company posts a job as in this case, a research biologist, LinkedIn is going to push back to the recruiter, here are 10 people who have the skills that you're looking for and have indicated that they're interested in your company. You may want to start here. And recruiters will always take a shortcut. If they see that somebody's interested in their company, has the skills to be able to do the job, is open to work, they're going to go there first. So creating a job alert for the companies that you're targeting so that they know that you're interested in them, that you're following them, and that you created a job alert specifically for them is going to bring you way higher on the list when a recruiter does a search. Now, the downside, LinkedIn only allows you to create 20 job alerts. And some of the job alerts you're going to keep for the jobs tab because you want to be able to find jobs and create alerts there too. So only do it for the job, for the companies that you're most interested in. Do not have more than one per company because you won't need it. Having a single job alert is going to be enough to make them find you. So we are following the company. If they have the I'm interested, you're going to click on that. You're going to create a job alert, but this is one that's special to you. And then you go into people. Because in the people, LinkedIn is going to tell you that there are 97 people who work at this company. And here's where they live. And here's where they studied. And if you use these arrows up here, they tell you what they do. This is what department they work in. Let me open that up a bit more. So if you have a specific area that you're interested in joining the company on, you can narrow down the number of total employees to the number in the department you're interested in. Now, they also have what they're skilled at, not always important. What they studied may not be important, but they do allow you to say, do I have any first degree connections in this company? Do I have any second degree connections? So if you're looking for first degree connections, nope, I don't have any. Let me go back and see if I have second degree connections. Nope, none of those either. Okay. Regardless, here are all 97 people. You can start narrowing it down by taking a look at what department they work in. You can narrow it down by putting in the search bar what title they're looking for. So if we wanted to say that we wanted to connect to somebody in the company the people most likely to connect with you are recruiters. And they've got one. LinkedIn is going to give you everybody who is currently a recruiter and everybody who has ever been a recruiter. So you're going to have to sort through and find out the people who are in that job that you're looking for. And it looks like it might be this person right here. Never use the white connect button to send a message, because the white connect button on this page will only send the automated LinkedIn message, "I'd like to be part of your network." That's not going to help you much. You need to go onto their profile page where you see a blue connect button. And the blue connect button allows you to personalize a message to this person to say, "I am a," and then give a title. "I have applied for this role. Would love to talk about it. Let's connect." So being able to give a message in the short period of time that you have, LinkedIn gives you 300 characters. I understand it's going down to 200 characters if you don't have premium. So it needs to be a very succinct message. So use the words wisely. "Applied for this role because of skills in blank, blank, blank. Let's talk. Let's connect." Boom, off it goes. Recruiters collect people. This is their job. So you've got a better chance of connecting to somebody in the company if you find somebody in HR. Now, Jeff told me the other day that this connect button is just the opposite when you're using your LinkedIn on your phone. So if you're on the LinkedIn app on the phone, the blue sends an automatic, "I'd like to connect," but the white gives you the opportunity to send a message. Did I get that right?
It's not that the white sends the message. What you do is, instead of clicking on the blue connect button on a cell phone, there should be either 3 little dots or the little hamburger. You need to go to the sub menu, and the sub menu will then pop open and allow you to send a personalized invitation there.
Perfect. Thank you. I almost got that right. Next time I'll do it. All right. So being able to look for people who are going to be comfortable connecting to you is going to be a key part of making sure that all of the features are used to show that you're interested in that company. You can do the search by the title. You can do the search by the school. So who is looking for Scout Clinical? Do you have a school that you went to?
Brett, you're muted.
I went to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Arizona is the closest.
Okay. Let's try something else on this. Give me the name of the school again.
EMBRY, Embry space Riddle. There it is. No.
There it is.
Dash, yeah.
Okay. All right. One of the ways that you can search for people to connect to is by going onto your university's page. And in your university, they have an alumni tab. So it will tell you about the 126,000 people who attended the same school that you did. But notice what they have as their first list. Where do they work? This is a great way of finding people easily who could connect to you. So if you wanted to work at American Airlines, there are 1,193 people who went to the same school you did that are now working at American. You can sort through them because it also has where they live, what department they're in, what their skills are, if you're currently connected with anybody there. But being able to send a note to someone that says, "I see you also attended Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. I enjoyed my time there. I'm considering career moves to," and then give the school, the company. Would love to connect. How do you like it there? So, quick way of utilizing a trusted source to make that introduction for you. Because now that they know that you went to the same school that you did, you must be a pretty good person, because only good people go to that school. And it gives a better feel for your ability to connect and to help somebody, especially if you're a school that has a strong alumni group and a support group for that. So doing a search either for the school or the company itself, finding ways to connect to people within that company are going to move you up into a higher position on that search. So here were the four. We followed the company, we set up a job alert, we clicked on the interest button if they had something for that, and we found somebody to connect to. Okay. Now we also need to increase visibility. You need to be active on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn Spotlight feature was active talent. And active talent means a couple different things. One is you are active. You're looking for jobs. You're connecting with people. You're networking with people. You're posting information on the home page. Every time you click the enter button, LinkedIn keeps track of that. They want you to be active and engaged and part of the conversation. Likely to respond. Recently updated your LinkedIn profile. Sharing your resume. Did you work at an organization with recent layoffs? LinkedIn keeps track of that. So if you were laid off the last couple months, LinkedIn automatically brings you to the top of their list because that's part of their open to work algorithm. So let's take a look at all of this. When you're on your home page and we say that you're active, you need to be commenting on the posts that appear on your home page because LinkedIn is pushing information on that page based on what it thinks you'd like to see. What do you want to hear about? And you have the ability to comment on those posts so that at the bottom of the post itself, you can put in, thank you, or I've seen this before, but you need to use a minimum of 12 words in your response so that LinkedIn feels that you have a heartfelt desire to continue the conversation. Don't use emojis, emoticons. They don't track well. And don't use them in your headline because they distort the search and you won't be found. But at least 3 times a week, comment on a post that you find on the homepage. Thank you for sharing this. I've seen this in the past and never understood it either. Easy enough to get 12 words. Now you can also post comment yourself. And if you find an article on another site that seems to be professional in tone and might be of interest to the people who are in your network, you can look for the LinkedIn icon by that article, and you can bring that into LinkedIn, put a statement at the top of it that indicates your thoughts, and you get bonus points for that. Don't post on Mondays and Fridays, particularly Friday afternoons. People don't read them as much, and you're really looking to engage people and have them comment on your posts. If you're using hashtags, 3 to 5 would be the most that you would have. And as people make comments to your post, you need to thank them or continue on the conversation. So we'll go over to the homepage in just a minute just to make sure you're comfortable with that. One of the things that LinkedIn is tracking is, do you talk to recruiters when they try to talk to you? So in the messages tab, if a recruiter reaches out to you and says, here's a job posting, looks like you have the skills to be able to do this, you want to set up some time to talk. If you ignore the recruiter, then recruiters are going to start ignoring you. They want to know, even if you are not the least bit interested in that job, they want to know about that. So reply to every message. So LinkedIn tracking that likely to respond score, another one of those pieces of information that LinkedIn keeps track of for you, but it doesn't show you what that number is. Now in the message tab, you also get a fair number of messages from people who are soliciting. Do you need help on your resume? Do you need information on this? I can help improve that. you don't need to reply to those folks, just recruiters. Let me go over to the home page again, because the home tab is going to be an important part. Everything in the middle of this page, LinkedIn thinks that you're interested in. And if you can see in the bottom, you've got a comment section. Sometimes it helps to read the comments that other people have so that you can really craft an answer. But in that comment section, you can put in a response to this, hit the post because that's going to come up next. And LinkedIn is going to feel that you're engaged in the dialogue, the networking that's part of LinkedIn's whole purpose. So stay on LinkedIn, watch what you've got in the center area, but you can start your own post. And when you start your own post, it gives you the ability to talk about anything you want. What's your job search? How are things looking? Keep it professional. LinkedIn is very afraid of becoming Facebook-ish, where people are sharing things that really are personal in nature and not necessarily the professional tone that they're looking for. So that's where we're going there. Okay. Questions?
If anybody has any questions, you're welcome to unmute your mic and ask away. Yeah, Kevin says, I get emails from recruiter positions that are not even close to my skill set. Just say thanks, no thanks. Thank you for the offer, thanks for reaching out, no thanks.
But there was generally something on your profile that attracted them to you. So thanks, but no thanks, I'm looking for, and then give a job title or two.
Okay.
And sometimes that works, but at least it gives them a reason why you're not interested in that particular role.
Right. And it lets LinkedIn know that you're responding to, the most important thing is lets LinkedIn know that you're responding to recruiters, which makes you active.
These are mostly going directly to my email, not through LinkedIn.
Ah, okay.
So
Got it.
Anybody else, any questions? Well, I guess maybe we'll get out of here a little bit early today. Ruth, thank you very, very much. Let me share a few slides. If you want to connect with Ruth, you're welcome to do so. Here's her profile.
I do have one other question.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Ruth could go back, see here, I was under my profile, where you're creating a resume. Let's see, where was that? It's under more, right? Build a resume.
More. Yep, click on more. And then build a resume. Create from profile.
Yeah, so if you go down, so if you go to the next step, so that you get that, you hit the apply. Software. So what happened when when I did mine is it did not have any no experience listed. All right, so yours is no experience either. So I expected that to be filled in from my profile.
This is a glitch on LinkedIn. The one thing though that you may want to check is that when you're on your profile page, go to your public profile and URL, click the edit pencil here, and this is what people are going to see when they're on your profile page. And experience is going to show up here. So when somebody's on LinkedIn, they'll be able to see it, but check and make sure these are all in the green. We've had a couple instances recently where people had this in the off position, which means that nobody can find you. And you don't want to keep any of these secret. You want to be able to show all of the activity that you've added into LinkedIn. So if you see something that seems a bit unusual or you're not getting responses when you think you should, check this.
Yeah, let's see, profile photo is public. Everything's set to green. Yeah.
In which case that's part of the glitch that LinkedIn has right now. It's not populating that. Good eyes. Thanks for checking on that.
Yeah, I didn't see you scroll down, but I did on mine. So, that's like, yeah, I'm a test engineer. Look at everything.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
didn't know if that was something with my profile or what. So, okay.
Right. Anybody else? Any questions? Anybody else? Going
I
once?
had,
Go
I
ahead,
had a
Brett.
quick question, on the skills practice. Is there a limited number of times you can run the practice if you're before applying for the badge, or is it just a one-time practice?
I don't know. I don't know that anybody's actually checks that out.
Okay, I can look into that. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, when you find out, please let us know. See how
Please
many times
do.
you can practice before you take it.
But there are a lot of them there.
All right, anybody else? All right, well, Dora, I know it says on here you just recently were laid off and you never used LinkedIn before. LinkedIn is a very valuable tool because this is how the whole point of this is how you're going to be found, how are employers going to find you, and take your resume, use the resume to fill in a lot of those details. If you want to reach out to Ruth, here's her LinkedIn profile. This was what her last LinkedIn profile looked like. You're welcome to connect with her. Like you said, if possible, please send a personal note. That way she knows where you met her at. Ruth, thank you very, very much. Next week, our speaker is going to be Kurt Vondermatter. He's a retained search consultant. He pays LinkedIn the big bucks, the biggest bucks he can pay, not that he wants to, how to use the LinkedIn recruiting package. So you'll see, he'll show us the recruiting package from the back end when he's trying to find you. And so LinkedIn from a recruiter's eye, and it's always a fascinating presentation to see what he's showing. All right, everybody, if you'll please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jeff Morris, promise to always send a personal note whenever I send a LinkedIn request to anyone. This includes when I use my cell phone or my computer. As Ruth mentioned, you never want to click on a white connect button because a white connect button sends a generic invitation. If you're on a PC or Mac or on a laptop, look, if you see the white connection button, click on the person's face, go to their profile, you should be able to see a blue connect button. If you don't see a blue connect button and it says follow, open up the more button, and in the little submenu, it'll say connect. And there's where you can send a personalized invitation. If you're on your cell phone or a tablet, you're using the mobile app, a blue connect button will send a generic invitation. I really wish they would change that. So to send that personalized invitation, you need to open the little sub menu, which is the three little dots off to the right, and be able to send that there. Career DFW, Career USA, we're putting on training 4 days a week. Please join us. Tomorrow, the practice interview team will be conducting an interview online. You'll be able to watch somebody else being interviewed, unless that person's on the line right now. I don't know. I didn't look for his name. But if you'd like to, you're welcome to watch us. We will be on Zoom only. There'll be no Facebook feed tomorrow. And it will not be recorded because we only record it for the interview candidate to be able to go back and watch it at their leisure. So if you'd like to join us tomorrow, 1 p.m. Central Time, it's always fascinating to watch somebody else be interviewed by the practice interview team. And then this Thursday, second Thursday of the month, we're going to talk all about networking. Heidi Torres, some of you know her as HR Heidi, will be here to talk about how serving turns into networking opportunities. This is a great time to help other people, serve, volunteer. When you volunteer, you never know who you're going to be able to network with. So come join us for that this Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. This Friday morning at the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group, 9:30 Central Time, your 2023 taxes, what you need to think about before the end of the year. You're only going to have about 14 days to think about it, but if you haven't thought about what you need to pull together, what you need to think about, Susan Holly, who's a senior tax advisor at H&R Block, now it's called Block Associates, I believe, will be with us. She's been with us this will be her 13th year to join us as our last official meeting of the year. So if you'd like to join us this Friday. If you live in the DFW area, you're welcome to join us in person. Otherwise, we will be on Zoom and Facebook Live for those outside the DFW area. If you'd like to join the Career DFW or Career USA LinkedIn groups, you're welcome to join one or both. We have over 15,000 members in the Career DFW group. You do not need to live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to join that group. I started each group when I started each of the websites. This session has been recorded. It will be on the Career DFW Facebook page or the Career USA YouTube channel to go back and view at your leisure. On the Career USA YouTube channel, if you're not following us, please do. We're like 800 and we're trying to get to 1,000 people following us because we get some special stuff when that happens. So if you don't follow us, please follow us on the Career USA YouTube channel or subscribe to our channel. Click on playlist. Every video that we put up there goes into a playlist. I have over 580 videos currently up there. But if you click on LinkedIn, in this case, where you see that red arrow, view full playlist, up will come a list of all the different dates and topics, and you can go back and watch any of the presentations at your leisure. Today's presentation will take about 2 or 3 hours to get up there, so I don't expect it up there before 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, but it will be up later today. If you're not receiving emails about our workshop and happen just to find our link on the Career DFW or Career USA website, you can join the Career USA mailing list. You can scan this QR code. It'll start a generic blank invitation email, or just send a blank email to Career USA, the +subscribe at groups.io. You'll never be spammed, but what you will get is the title of the day, the topic of the day, and the most important thing is the Zoom link of the day. That way you can join us every day when we're doing training. Please remember, Career DFW, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Ruth is a volunteer. I'm a volunteer. Everything I've done over the last 15 years has just been to help you land your next great opportunity. So thank you very much for joining us today, everybody. Have a great Tuesday, and we hope to see you Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week.